Okay, let's try this again. First off, I'm going to zoom into this so that you can actually see. Now, as you can see, this pattern is originally done in peyote stitch. Now, there was a question posted in group about flipping your pattern. Now, as you can see, it's done in 3 colors: 1878, 2176, and 1412. Those are all delica beads, just so you know. And it's one of my bracelets. Now, when you flip a pattern, you go to pattern and you go to flip. Now, this is what that pattern looks like flipped. Now, did you see the difference there? That's the regular pattern, and that's flipped. So, on some things you may be able to flip them. Let's go back to the original, which is peyote. Now, let's change this to square. Now, notice how we have the ups and downs here. Let me zoom out to 200 instead of 300, and let's center this so you can see what I'm doing here. Now, notice that we have one up on the diamond shape and one in the center coming down. Now, when I change this to square, you notice that it still has the one up, but instead of having it 1, 3, 5, 7, you've got 1, 5, 9, 14, and then you've got 12, 8, and 3. So that changes your pattern there. I don't have anything done. I can, let's use a loom pattern for that one, because that one, brick and loom, now see, it's loom, and that's square stitch. Now, nothing really changed out of the ordinary on it, but it did, because if you look at her hair here, see, square and loom are the same thing. The only difference in it is that one is done on the loom, the other one is not. Now, to flip a square, let's flip this as a loom first. Now, that's what it looks like flipped. Now, with a loom and a square, with loom stitching and square stitching, you're not going to get that big of a difference. Now, while it's flipped upside down, let's change it to square and flip it back. And see, there's really no difference in it. Okay, now, let's get one of my brick stitch ones here. I gotta remember which ones are. Okay, this would be, normally people would think of this as being done in brick stitch, but I actually did this in peyote. Now, brick stitch puts it that way. Okay, so let's put it back as peyote. Let's go back and get the other calla lily. Now, let's change this one to brick. And see what it does. It makes, because of the way I've got it done, it makes it larger. Makes it more or less wider as far as the flowers. See? So, let's see. Do I have another one that is actually done in brick? Let's see. No, that's peyote. That's peyote. Oh, I know which one, but do I have it in here? Let's see, do I have it in here? Okay, here's a brick pattern, I believe. Yeah, this one is done in brick stitch. Okay, so let's see. Just go to flip on it and see what it does to it. That's what happens when you flip that one. See how it totally changed it? Let's undo it. See how it looks there? And flip. It actually makes this one a pretty cool pattern when you flip it. Okay, another one. Let's see. Let's go back into a peyote bracelet here. Now, gourd is another type of peyote, like it's more used in Indian work than in regular beading all the time. And I'll show you on this pattern the difference between gourd and peyote. Okay, let's undo that. Let's just do a new picture here, and we'll just fill it in black. Okay, that color you can see. Now, let's do that in gourd. Now you see the difference in peyote. I mean in gourd. You want to try and make sure that you have to have your columns have to be divisible by 3. So it's either you can 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, etc. Okay. Now let's grab black and just oops. I didn't want to do that. Okay, just say that's our design. Let's bring this down to, oops, too many, but that's all right. So this will be our design for gourd, okay? Just for testing and that. Now, do pattern and flip. And it looks like this. In other words, you're missing a black here, or a black here, a black here. you know, it actually makes you wind up missing beads on some of them. Now, I already showed you what peyote looks like flipped. Okay, now let's get into 2-drop peyote. We'd have to cut that down to an even number, and then flip it again. And 2-drop peyote actually brings it more closely to what it originally was. Now, do 3-drop peyote. And again, you want to make sure that you've got enough rows to fit your 3-drop. And then flip. And then 4-drop. Excuse me. See, sometimes you just gotta add a row to make it look right. Oh, excuse me. And then flip it again, and that's your 4-drop flipped. Now it goes all the way up to 9-drop, peyote 9-drop. Well, I'm not going to get into that. I've showed you a few of them. Now let's go to a tubular peyote pattern. Now, let's undo this all the way back to my beginning one here. That's good enough, because I don't want it that long, and it's just going to keep on going. Okay, now let's go to tubular peyote, and now, although you're going to have with the way I did. With the way I did this, I'm going to have to come in here and fill in my little empty spots here. Okay, now you have tubular peyote. Now take the picture, or the pattern I mean, and then flip it. It really doesn't change that much, but it does add a couple of empty spots there that you're going to have to fill in on its own. Now, you have right angle weave. Now that's what the pattern I made looks like with right angle weave. And if you want to flip it, it really doesn't change that much in right angle weave. Now let's undo that. And because I've got this playing with right angle weave, let's see if we can fill in a couple more spots here. Okay. Okay, now that's the regular right angle weave that I just did. Now you have right angle weave 2-bead, which leaves a lot of empty spaces compared to what we had. And 3-bead drops a lot of your stuff again, so you got to go back in and refill everything. So I'm not even going to try and flip those two. But this gives you an idea of what each one looks like. And see, when you flip it back to peyote, everything has disappeared. So, Yeah, when you're doing raw, it takes out a lot of your beads. So there you go. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I'll if I have to, I'll do another video where I'm separating each individual one to show you what they look like. What they look like individually. In individual videos of each pattern type. Hope this helps. Bye.